Is Paul?
It was working because I can play it.
Oh, it's playing back. Talk.
Say something.
Say something. I'm saying something. Say something. I'm saying something. Oh, that's that? Who's on?
That's a lot of Lord. Jeez.
Talking.
Yeah, ball don't lie, baby. Ball don't lie. We about to be back on and popping.
Stream is delayed. Sorry about the technical difficulties, y'all. We didn't
Oh yeah,
realize we wasn't
We
live.
definitely didn't know, but it's time to get to the second half of the show. So
And we're back.
we're back. We got to get into it now, Phil. Now you know, in my heart, I wanted Indiana to win this series, even though we both still picked OKC to win. We did pick in five. That was wrong, but I don't think that it going the extra game really means much. Man, do I think as I look back at that game four, that Indiana gave up their opportunity, their one and only opportunity to win this series, man. The series is now 3-2 OKC way with a 120-109 win in game five, man. J Dub had 40.6 rebounds. SGA had 31 points, 10 assists, going from 0 assists to 10 assists. Wiggins had 14 points. Wallace had 11 points. Wiggins shot 4 for 7 from the three, and Wallace shot 3 for 4 from the three. And on Indiana's side, Siakam had 28.6 rebounds, 5 assists. TJ McConnell had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Naismith had 14.6 rebounds. Turner had 13.6 rebounds. Still not enough. Toppin had 12 points as well, man. So let's get into it. Phil, what are your initial thoughts about that game?
You know I'm not this type, but I got 3 words. Told you so. Told you. Everybody out there who's an Indiana fan, y'all know I'm from Chicago. There was a little bit of hometown. It's not my hometown, but like near, so like I kind of wanted them to win. But OKC, they've just been the best team all year. And I know to start the playoffs, there were a couple of things that Big Mom wanted to see from OKC. And I think they've shown you everything.
They shown me everything that I needed to see when you're talking about a championship team that can win more than one, right? You know, now we've seen over the past 7 years, 7 different champions. This will be year 8, have a different champion. But can you do it again? And that was my biggest concern. Can they repeat? Could they get another in 2 years or another in 3? I believe they can. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, gave you 40.
J-Dub is showing people. I know in the media there were people doubting if he can be the second best player.
Right.
And I think he's shutting that down.
He's shutting that down. I think he shut it down. When you look at great teams that won championships, if not multiple championships, they had their main guy, and they had that guy that they could look to when the main guy wasn't playing the best. Mike had Scotty. Magic had Kareem. Kobe had Shaq. Paul had KG. KG had Paul. And LeBron had Kyrie. LeBron had Wade and Bosh. Like, you never can do it by yourself. Steph had KD. Steph had Clay. Steph had Andre. He was the final MVP at one point. Like, it's so many ways that you can split it. Even with the Toronto year, Kawhi had Pascal. You know, you got to have that second guy. And I think J-Dub is probably one of your better second guys in recent history right now. With the way that he can handle the ball. I mean, his quickness is otherworldly. I mean, he gets up and down the court quicker than most guys his size can. I mean, I think he's up there with De'Aaron Fox when it comes to speed with the ball and going up the court. But man, hurt or not, Howley was a no-show. I'm sorry. If you're on the court and you're playing, you gotta perform. You just have to, because you're hurting your team if you're hurt and you're out there not giving. I'm not gonna say not giving it your all. I'm not gonna say that, but if you can't perform, especially being the leader of the team when it comes to being the floor general, you're hurting. You're hurting the team. TJ should have played. I know you're gonna get into TJ not playing as much as you thought he should have in that game. But if he's hurt, sit him. If he's hurt, sit him. I mean, to lose a game where it was a bad shooting night for SJ. SJ went 9 for 21. You got to win that. If he gets to 13 field goals made, it's a bigger blowout than what it already was. And just J-Dub just took him out back, man. It's as simple as it got right there.
Now, I understand he was hurt, but when you look historically, this has to be maybe one of the worst games from a team's best player. I know some people will say, oh, no, it's Siakam. No. The engine of that team is Tyrese Halliburton. When he plays good, he's the best player.
And they win. They have the record, 20 plus points, 10 plus assists. They're 20-1.
And which we think that OKC is going to close it out on Thursday, right? So if they close it out and they win in 6, you have to look back at the series and say, outside of Game 3, the Pacers never outplayed them.
I agree with you on that.
Like, outside of, like, Game 1 was an anomaly. That was a game they weren't supposed to win.
The team rallied around each other to get that win.
Game 2, they got whooped on.
They got whooped on.
Game 3, Indiana won that game.
That game, yes. I'm with you on that.
Game 4, they should have won that game. They got outplayed in the 4th. It was the same as Game 1, except the tides just turned. Game 5, which we just saw, they lost. And if they lose Game 6.
And I know we're going to get into it some more. I don't care that they got the game back in a manageable space. I don't care. I knew they weren't winning this game.
They lost it. They lost that space. They gave the space right back up.
I just don't, because your best guard on your team can't be your backup PG. when you're going up against the best team with the MVP. Your best player can't be the backup point guard. When I'm talking about guards, it can't be the backup PG. It just can't. And since he was, they got beat. Nembhard, no show, 3 for 8. Mathurin, no show, 2 for 11. You're not going to beat this team if you don't have everybody on one accord and on board and ready to play.
So a couple things that I found interesting watching this Game 5. Now you got to follow me for a second because it's going to sound a little off. And it's going to sound random. Jalen Brunson, would you say Jalen Brunson is better than Jalen Williams?
It's a tough one. Probably not.
Okay, but before this series started, would you have said Jalen Brunson is better
Yes.
than Jalen Williams?
Yes.
Okay. Neesmith did a pretty solid job on Brunson. Could we agree on that?
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah. Him and Nembhard. Yeah.
Neesmith is out there getting drowned. He cannot guard Jalen Williams.
No.
He cannot guard SGA.
He's taller. He's bigger.
He can't guard
faster.
these dudes. Neesmith went from the key defender in the first 3 series to now he's getting attacked.
He's almost like the worst defender out there. I mean, it looks bad a lot between him getting cooked on the defensive side and Nembhard giving up the ball on the offensive side. It's a double whammy, and it's hard to overcome that.
Now, Neesmith is shooting 52% from 3, which is outstanding. But the key stat that if I would have told you before the series started, you would have said, oh, they're going to lose. Neesmith is averaging 4.5 fouls a game.
That's too much. Yeah, he had 5. He had 5.
If I would have told,
he probably should have fouled out that game too.
if I would have told you before the series, Neesmith would average 4.5 fouls, how many games would you say it go?
Probably sweep. I ain't gonna lie to you, because we went into this series believing that Neesmith and Nembhard was going to be able to replicate what they did to Brunson, and that has not been the case.
These are 2 bigger players. Now, when you really look at the guards that they've played Brunson, Lillard, Mitchell, Garland. Those are all smaller guards.
Right.
Now, they can contain those smaller guys, but when it comes to 6'6" SGA, 6'5", 215-pound Jalen Williams, these are different dudes.
Yeah. And you almost really pretty much put Jalen Williams, he could play the 3. He's not on the smaller side.
Jalen Williams was playing the 4 last year before they picked up Isaiah Hartenstein.
Right.
And now he was able to move all the way up to the 2, basically the 3.
It's a tough matchup. Indiana they can match up with OKC probably better than anybody else on the east side outside of a healthy Boston team, because Boston just becomes bigger than OKC, so you can see them putting up a different type of fight. But man, I'm just going to keep looking back at that game 4. You have an opportunity to go up 3-1 and have wiggle room, because I believe whether they beat OKC in Game 4 or not, they were losing Game 5. I did every calculation. I looked at every type of possibility of how Indiana could win in OKC in Game 5, and I couldn't. I was like Doctor Strange.
I was about to say.
I was like Doctor Strange trying to figure it out a million different ways, and Strange ended up finding one. I couldn't find none. I just couldn't find a way, and lo and behold, they couldn't get it done. And when you go back to somebody's house, tied, instead of being up 3-1, you lose that wiggle room. You lose that space to make mistakes.
I say this with wholehearted confidence. If I had $10 million, I would bet it. If Jalen Williams is scoring 35, Indiana will never win a game. If he's scoring, and he scored 40, so I'm breaking it down. I'll even break it down to 30. If Jalen Williams is getting 30, you ain't winning that game.
And SGA is going to also give you 30s. There's 60 points between 2 guys. There's 60 points between 2 guys.
Believe it or not, the highest plus-minus on OKC has been Chet Holmgren, and Chet Holmgren has not showed up offensively. He's shooting 37% from the field, 14% from 3. But where his plus-minus kicks in is his defense has been outstanding.
Oh, yeah. They keep challenging a 7'1" guy at the rim while he's just standing there. and thinking you're going to get the ball over him. No, you're not. He's going to send it. And he kept blocking shots.
And they keep trying to attract him out to the perimeter, but he's a smaller. He can move his feet.
He can move his feet out there. I think that's the most impressive thing about Chet Holmgren. Being 7'1" and can play the perimeter. He can play the perimeter better than Rudy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's up there with Victor, being able to move his feet and take up a lot of space. So I can give you a little bit more space because my reach can contest, and my length and my footwork can have me move from side to side to give you a little space to where you can't beat me off the dribble.
Yeah, I think Tyrese's style of dribbling, that kind of herky-jerky going side to side, not really, up, down, but
North,
like
south,
side to
yeah.
side. I think that helps Chet Holmgren be able to defend him on the three-point line because I can still cover up space with my length, and you're really just going side to side. Once you go to the basket, Tyrese isn't the fastest. Like he's not Jalen Williams, De'Aaron Fox. He's
Right.
not blowing by defenders. So I think that helps Chet Holmgren be able to guard him out there on the perimeter. And we talked about it earlier. One mistake that I think Rick Carlisle made was not playing T.J. McConnell in that fourth quarter. He exploded for 13 in the third, had 18 going into the fourth. I don't think he played till about the 4-minute mark. And at that point, they had already lost the space that they had closed.
Right.
So,
And Carlisle as a veteran coach, look and see, man, my main guy is not here. He's either physically or mentally, he's not here. He didn't score a basket. He was 0 for 7. Sometimes you got to look over and say, hey, man, it's not
tonight.
It's not your night.
not your
And let TJ get in there and try to help Siakam pull it through. Do I think it would have mattered? Maybe not. But I think the game maybe would have been a little closer down the stretch because you had a guy that found something. TJ found something. What it was, he found it. And he was able to capitalize on it, being the second leading scorer on this team coming off the bench.
Indiana has 8 guys averaging 10 points. Now, a lot of them are right at 10. The problem is they don't have a guy really going out there and getting it, if that makes sense.
I don't think Siakam even averaged 20 points.
He's averaging 20.
20, but he's the only guy.
Yeah, he's the only guy. The next guy is Tyrese with 15.
OKC got 2 guys averaging way above that.
Averaging 25 plus.
Yeah.
And one's averaging 30.
So you're talking about 50 to 60 points between 2 guys.
Now, an underrated aspect that I'm sure 90% of people out there do not know. SGA is getting after it defensively. He's averaging 2.5 steals and 2 blocks. When do you see that?
Yeah. And
People, man, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there are times where people would just compare Kobe to anybody. Kobe would be Jason Tatum. Kobe would be Devin Booker. No, SGA might be the closest thing we've seen. The mid-range game, the only difference that they have is Kobe was more athletic, and SGA is more of a point guard.
right. But I mean,
The mid-range game, the defense.
Shay's in rare air, man. He joins LeBron, MJ, and Jimmy Butler as the only players to record 30 points, 10 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in a finals game since '74. I mean, LeBron did it 2 times. MJ only did it once, and Jimmy only did it once. And SJ now joins that lore of players.
SGA is almost averaging that. Now, yeah, he did the stat line once, but he's close to averaging that. He's averaging 32, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.5 steals, 1.8 blocks. He's been amazing. I know there were people after that game who were like, Jalen Williams might be in the voting for MVP. No.
Yeah. Did I pick Minnesota to beat OKC?
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
hate to say that.
yeah, it's okay.
Only time you
But-
picked OKC to win was first round.
Okay. So what I'll say is that they proved everything that I wanted to see from them. Because of their past experiences, not being able to get over the hurdles, I held that against them this year. They proved me wrong. I like what I've seen from them. I like what the bench has done. This is how you construct a well-rounded team. And when you have the MVP, you have just another greater chance to win a series. But Phil,
I need you to turn into Doctor Strange for a second. Is there a world that the Pacers win the series?
No.
Find one. Okay, if it's one possibility, one. No injuries. Like, don't say like SGA, God forbid, SGA did something. But what is the possibility that they can win?
they have a 15% chance to win the series. In my eyes. And the only way that happens is what Indiana has done multiple times. Play fast, play hard, don't turn the ball over, shoot lights out. I mean, it's almost like they got to play out of their mind.
They have to play the best 2 games, maybe.
of their careers put together to beat this team twice in a row, which hasn't happened against OKC. And that's a tall order to ask from a team that is now hurt. And this team is pretty hurt compared to, I mean, the guys that are hurt on the team were guys that weren't in the main rotation. I get that. But now Tyrese is now going to join them. Whether he plays or not, it's going to hurt them. If he's not 100%, it's hurting them. You're not the same guy. So as we move on to talk about Game 6 tomorrow, and our predictions are pretty clear. I believe OKC hoists the trophy on Indiana's floor tomorrow night.
They gonna see the trophy in the building?
The trophy will be in the building, but it's only going to go to one side of the arena, because obviously Indiana can't win the series tomorrow. But they're going to be the anticipation of that trophy being in that building and those guys seeing that trophy there, knowing that we are one win closer. I just don't think that Indiana can muster up enough to beat OKC, even at home. So let's talk about Tyrese Halliburton, Phil. Does he play or does he not?
I think he gives it a try. I really think he does. But Carlisle needs to keep a close eye on it. Because at this moment, if you're a betting man, technically, in terms of odds, the Pacers have a better chance of winning next year's championship than they do of winning these 2 games.
I agree
So
with
do
you.
you want to ruin that? Because you tried to sneak out this 1 win, and then he, God forbid again, he does something that keeps him out for a year and a half, and then next season is just washed? Do you take that chance?
You don't take that chance. I heard too many people yesterday as I was riding around the city talking about, oh, you play him. If you tear his Achilles, no, sir. No, sir.
This isn't a video game.
Yeah.
Like, you tear your Achilles, that affects your life. That's
Yeah.
not just basketball.
Me being through an injury, people who don't know, I was hit by a car. Okay? I was hit by a car. And my leg was messed up. I am still, to this day, it's about to be a year from when it happened. I am still not the same person. You tearing your Achilles is not a good thing. It is not an easy thing to come back from, athlete or not. It's not. And I would suggest, if I was in the space of having any type of leadership role in the Pacers franchise, if there's even a 20% chance of him tearing his Achilles, you don't play him. You don't. We seen KD. We seen Damian Lillard.
How many people this season have torn their Achilles? Or
It's a
ACL.
player. It's a player on Indiana that has an injury. You don't risk it. The East is still wide open. That's why the Magic made the trade that they made. The East is wide open. There is nobody in the East, especially with Boston probably not being the same Boston team next year. This is that, in a sense, you can almost compare it to those 2 years that Jordan wasn't there, right? Even though there's not a Jordan in the East, right? But it's as open as it can be. It's free game coming out the East. That's just like if out of the 4 top quarterbacks in the AFC, 2 of those guys are hurt. Whether that's Mahomes and Burrow or Allen and Lamar. There's only 2 of those 4 guys left with the upper echelon. It's open. It's open. You don't want to give that up for next season because you're building on something very special. You've been to back-to-back conference finals, and you've reached the finals.
And the team that you lost to in the conference finals won't be there again next year. You won't have to play Boston because they won't have Tatum.
So you don't ruin your next season because if he tears his Achilles, he's not playing next season. So now you're gonna be 2 years removed from him playing, and you're gonna expect to be able to get back to that same spot when Tyrese is not that 30-point per game scorer in itself. He more utilizes his team to be great, which is good. But he's not a KD. He's not a Steph. He's not a LeBron. I just don't think he can afford that and be able to continue to be as successful as they've been these past 2 years.
Yeah, if there's a 10% chance that he tears his Achilles,
You
I
sit
wouldn't
him.
play him.
You sit him, and plus, if he's hurt like that, it takes one bad push off, and it'll pop.
He's gonna get attacked.
And he's a point guard. He has to push the pace. He's going to have to guard Shea at some point, Jalen Williams at some point, Caruso, somebody. He's not going to be able to just stand in the corner like Aaron Gordon did. It took less of a burst from Aaron Gordon to play. You can't do that at the point guard position. So if he's not 100%, you sit him.
And to be quite frank, Aaron Gordon got lucky because they got blown out. So he really didn't play much of that game. He really played like maybe 2.5 quarters because they were down like the whole game. They were just getting beat bad.
Right. So I'm looking at like you gotta, as I said on the last show, protect your assets, man. Protect the investments. How they gonna be getting paid real soon, and you don't want to risk him getting hurt and stopping that. You don't want to risk your team's future for next year because then that could easily close whatever window, however big you think your championship window is, it will close completely if you let Tyrese go out there and hurt himself worse than what he's already is right now.
My prediction, OKC will win Game 6 in Indiana.
My prediction is OKC wins handily in Indiana as well.
It's not gonna be close.
No. I said that last time, and what happened?
It wasn't close.
It wasn't close, man. Sometimes you just see it. I've watched too many finals. I've watched too many playoff series. I've watched too many great players come and go. I feel, as I said before, and I'll say it again, they gave up their chance to win this series when they lost Game 4. I hate to say it, but that's the truth.
This would be an all-time collapse if OKC lost this.
Lost this series, yes. Because that means they would have lost twice in a row. And I don't think that Indiana
is capable of beating them twice in a row.
Not at this moment. Not now. Maybe earlier in the series, but not now. Definitely not now.
When you really look around the league, is there any team that can beat OKC twice? One game being in OKC?
Not at this current moment. Maybe a healthy Boston team, but that's about it, man. OKC has shown me that they are to be respected. They are to be feared. They are a legit team that is built the right way through the draft, through trades that didn't dismantle the team. And they maybe fleece somebody. But that's for y'all to discuss.
No, they fleeced the Clippers.
You know, to pretty much get a championship because you traded Paul George is big time. It's big time.
You know, in that trade they got Shea and Jalen Williams.
That's why I said that fleece job. Sometimes that's what it takes for you to get yourself on track. Is fleecing somebody and taking them out back. So, as we get to our last points on this Game 6, do you think that there's a way for Indiana to really win tomorrow night?
With Tyrese being out, or I wouldn't say out because we don't know if he's out. With him not being 100%, no, I don't see that being a way. Because say he's out, then you have to go with Nembhard and Mathurin because you don't want to start TJ because TJ's the guy off the bench. You need somebody to come in who's going to be able to push the pace. And I don't think Mathurin, not Mathurin. What you saying?
Who would you rather see start, Shepherd or Mathurin?
You got to go Mathurin.
Gotta go Mathurin?
Yeah, you got to go Mathurin.
I agree.
because Shepard has the worst plus minus in the series, -7.5.
Yeah.
So when he's on the floor,
But he's out there going straight to guarding SGA. And
Yeah. That's what they want.
That'll
that's free.
kill your plus minus every time.
Yeah. So the thing about Nembhard is that he's not really a point guard. He's averaging 3 turnovers this series. That's second most on the team. Yeah, only behind Tyrese.
Yeah, he is throwing the ball away because people don't understand. Stop jumping and passing. The minute you jump, that means you commit. It's time to. That means the defense is going to shift.
He's a secondary ball handler. He should not be the primary ball handler.
Right.
Especially against this team. Man, OKC is sharks in the water waiting for blood. They won, man. I don't know if you've seen it. Well, you have seen it. You've watched the whole series. Is it just me or when they drive in the paint, dude, there's 3 guys on you. That's a tough pass. That's a tough pass to kick out.
They're shifting the defense as you shift through your offense. And I think they haven't figured out a way to have proper spacing to make that a non-factor or not as big as a factor. Their spacing, we've watched too many times. I've been upset because their spacing is just terrible.
They're able to have one defender guard 2 guys.
Yes, because they're not spacing, or they got guys out there that are not factors from beyond the arc. Miles Turner.
They're not cutting to the basket.
They're not cutting.
How many times last game did Jalen Williams cut to the basket? He was wide open.
Oh yeah, and he's dunking it every time. That's them young legs. He's dunking it every time.
And he's had some bad falls.
Or Chet.
They've had some bad falls this series.
But you get them out the way now because you're young, and be able to bounce back up. Because that one where he got knocked out the air and he landed on his back. Oh man, I got scared. I jumped out of my seat.
If he was 31, that looks different.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I believe Indiana is done. I hate for them to lose and have the championship hoisted on their home court. It's happened to others. Will it be as big of a celebration for OKC? Maybe not, but best believe they're going to have their locker room.
You take your wins.
Yeah, the locker room going to smell like champagne. They're going to get on the plane. They're going to party all night. They're going to probably fly to Vegas. We'll be hearing from them for the next 2 weeks.
Do they fly to OKC first or Vegas?
They fly to Vegas first.
You don't think they go back to OKC first?
No, you fly to Vegas first. As a team, I think this is your time to celebrate together. But the party's not gonna stop. I think these guys may be up for the next 3 to 4 days in a row. Party's not gonna stop. Then they'll go to OKC, party it out in OKC, parade.
I always wonder, like, when you win the championship, realistically, when is the next time you touch a basketball? Probably some.
It'll because everybody gotta take the trophy to their hometown and to their college and to their school and stuff like that. I say 2 weeks. I say 2 to 3 weeks, maybe right when summer league kicked off.
I'm not training. I'm not doing that.
I'm not saying training.
No, I'm saying like for like the next week.
Most of these guys got courts.
Yeah.
These half courts in their houses. You'll at least walk down there and reminisce, shoot a 3 or 2. They'll touch a ball. It might be 2 or 3 weeks before they do, but they will. They will. Because the grind don't stop. They're young. SGA, it'll be probably the first time you see a lot of emotion out of him. But eventually he's gonna come back down. He's gonna be ready to get back to work. Because there's only one. As we stated earlier, the greats have multiple. And on that note, forever and always, no, ball, don't lie. See y'all on Friday. Peace.
All right, Twitch. This was a good first show.
Good first show.
Hopefully y'all liked it. We will see y'all back Friday.
Yes,
also.
this is what we're going to be doing from here on out. We'll make sure our audio is better, and we'll continue to get better as you all grow with us. We appreciate all feedback and comments. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a family member. We appreciate all the support, and we'll also see y'all on